Reproductive cycle. Structures of the female reproductive organs. You have the uterus. This is the uterus. This is the cervical cap, and this is the vagina leading up to the cervical opening. The cervical opening is called the cervical os, the external os. There's also an internal os, not well defined here, but I can show it to you on the female model. The uterus has an outer layer called the perimetrium, a thick muscular layer called the myometrium, and an inner layer called the endometrium. The ovaries, which produce the follicle, are held in position by the suspensory ligament here, the suspensory ligament, the ovarian ligament here, the mesovarium above it, and the broad ligament below it. So supporting the ovary here, and here you have the ovarian ligament, suspensory ligament. I'm showing it to you here, but realize there's also one over here. You have the ovarian ligament, suspensory ligament, broad ligament, mesovarium. Then you have follicular development. This is the ovary, which is this and this. It's showing you a different enlargement of it. The outer layer is called the germinal epithelium. The inner layer to that is called the tunica albuginea, and everything other than these developing follicles is called stroma. So you have cortical stroma and you have medullary stroma. Then you have the developing follicles, and they start out as the primordial follicle, and as they are stimulated with FSH, they develop a layer of cells around it called thecal cells, and this becomes a primary follicle. It subsequently becomes a secondary follicle, which can see the development of the antrum. The antrum enlarges to become a mature graphene follicle or tertiary follicle. At around day 14, luteinizing hormone is released and causes this follicle to rupture. So this represents follicular eruption. Here is follicular eruption. So when this follicle leaves, when this oocyte leaves the follicle becomes a gland. It becomes the corpus luteum. The corpus luteum produces progesterone. Progesterone stimulates the endometrium to become vascularized, and that's what's going to support implantation if fertilization occurred. Now, when the corpus luteum no longer produces progesterone, it becomes the corpus albicans. As it no longer produces progesterone, there's no longer a stimulus for vascular development, and as the level of progesterone drops, you have that sloughing off, marking the beginning of the menstrual cycle. Again, getting back to the follicles. Primordial, primary, secondary, tertiary. Germinal epithelium, tunica albuginea, cortical stroma, medullary stroma.